Okay guys, so um just as I've promised to kind of make another video explaining the practical tool. This is not going to actually be very intense, but I'm just going to walk you through what you needed to do, and then you basically have to have some knowledge to get started with the practical tool. In fact, I was also stranded. I don't really know what to do when I got into the practical tool, so I'm going to take you through it. Please, I'm making this video for the sake of people who are having challenges understanding the process itself. So right now I'm just going to run the practical tool. So I'm just going to type practical tool. So just like the previous one, the first practical, you realize when you type practical one, it will start to run and download the necessary Docker images. So as you can see, it is pulling some files over here and it is downloading them. So just give it some few minutes, it will finish downloading, and after that okay. So as you can see over here, everything is successful. We don't have any error. So for unlike practical one was terminal based, but this one is a web based. So what we're going to do right now is that you see there is an access. You can access this on the browser by going to this IP and this link. So you're just going to right click on it and open, or copy it and go to a browser and then paste it. Okay, so sorry, I'm just going to let me add that screen. So okay, so here we are in the second practical. So when you open this this web, where we have the here where we have the local host, where we have a simple IP address. So that is the IP address you are going to access. This is the link you are going to access. So you just right click and then open it in a browser. So just as I've opened it over here. So this is the interface you are going to get when you start it. So here in my Firefox, you could see I am in the Zog lab, so breaking into furthest gold deposit. So you could see a couple of instructions over here. So we are just going to get into the company's gold reserve, and then in fact we just steal some of the golds. In fact, we can even steal all. We really needed money for the December 2026 to celebrate our Christmas. So in fact, I'm going to loot everything. So here, when you are here, the next thing you have to do is to you can see they are telling us that we are at the forefront of this the bank. Okay, we are at the forefront here, and then what we are going to do, you see we have a couple of things over here, and right at the bottoms over here we have look, inventory, and help. We also have northeast, south, and west. So what we are going to do is we have to type help for the first time to understand what is going on. So I'm going to click here, help. Here you can also type help from here, and that's going to be executed. So as you can see over here, you can see a couple of commands. You can go through this very well. So to move something, you have a command to run. So we are doing everything here on the website. This website is locally hosted, so we just have to take note of the commands that we have. Now here we are at the forefront, and you could see that we can try to move to any direction, and when we move to south, let's say we are moving to south, you can type north, you can move to north by typing N, and you can see it is telling us you cannot go that way. Okay, so what it means is that we cannot go to the forefront, because right in front we cannot go through the main entrance. So we try to go to west too, that one too, we can't go that way. Let's try to go to south, we can't go that way. So I'm going to east to see. Okay, so as you can see right here, we are at east of the entrance. So we are the maintenance process, and there are a couple of things over here. So the main idea here is that anything you find, or when you get to any place, anything you find as an attacker or a hacker, you leverage on that to exploit your target. So here we are at the maintenance room. So it is telling us a couple of things. So you can just try to look for whatever is in there. I've clicked on this look. You can also type it here, look, and it's going to look around to tell you whatever is in the closet room. So you can see we have ladder, we have cleaning supplies. So you can actually pick this, any of these, or you can pick two. So you can either climb through the wall with the ladder, or do anything you want to do with the cleaning supply. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to say get and type the name of whatever I want to get. So if you are in any environment on this particular line, you want to pick something, you type get and then the name of the thing you want to get. So I'm going to submit, and then you can see my inventory over here. Right here you can see that ladder have been added to my inventory. Now I'm going to pick the cleaning supplies again, so I'm just going to copy that and then say get and paste it. And you could see that just as we pick the ladder, we could also pick the cleaning supplies. So I'm going to leverage on this to take my first attack. So that is what you also needed to do. So right now you could see over here on the map, you will see I moved from the outer wall to the maintenance closet. So what I'm going to do right now is to go back. I'm going back, so I'm going to west again. So at the forefront over here, you can also type hints for help. Okay, so it is telling us a couple of things over here. The wall is too high to climb without some equipment. So yes, check nearby areas for something that could help you climb. Look carefully at the cameras to find any weakness. So yeah, here we are, you can, okay, so here we are, you can try to run some sort of commands to examine. So when you type the help, you could see that there is some commands you can use to look at set something. So if you want to examine something, you want to take a detailed look at something. So for instance, let's say our camera, so we want to take a critical look at the camera. So what we're going to just do is to I've copied the cameras, so I'm going to say examine cameras. Yes, so I run examine cameras, as you can see over here, and it's telling me that when you look carefully at the security cameras, you notice they are positioned to cover most of the wall. However, there is a small blind spot between two of them and might be exploitable if you had a way to climb. So I'm going to climb the wall right now because there's a simple vulnerability over there. So I'm simply just going to type climb. Okay, so climb is also part of the tools we have. So I'm going to say climb and then say add the wall. So over here you type climb the wall. So in fact, if you don't have ladder, you cannot climb the wall. That is what the system is trying to tell you. If you don't have ladder, you cannot climb the wall. So because I have ladder in my inventory, because I've picked that in the process room, so what I'm going to do right now is, so when you type climb wall, you will be taken back to the other side. Okay, you climb the wall, and then so after climbing, you will also see there is going to be an instruction or something for you to read. Okay, so what we're going to do right now is, as you can see, there is a security door over here, and you could see a keypad. So what we're going to do is to say we want to look around to see what is there. So when we look around, it says there's a security pad on the door. There is also a small decorative flower pot next to the door. So what I'm going to say is that I want to examine the keypad. So I'm just going to type keypad. So yes, so you can see it says the buttons 1, 2, 5 and 7 show signs of wear. So yes, this is basically introducing us to something very interesting, because if you pick any keypad and you could see that some have exhibited wears, then it means what? It's suggesting that they are frequently used in the code. So we are going to leverage on that to do what we call, if you haven't had any prior knowledge, so you're just going to be manually using any combination based on that keys, those keys that have wear out. But here we could see we have 4 digits which have worn out, and you could see that, and then also the pin to that door is only 4 digits, which means that there is no way any of these numbers is going to repeat themselves. So what we are going to do right now is just to say, okay, so if you listen carefully or take a closer look, we have something else too. We have it says when we look around, we also have a flower pot. Yes, so I'm going to examine the flower pot. So I'm going to copy flower pot and say I want to examine the flower pot. So when I hit enter, and it says I turned over the flower pot and found a sticky note with 1357. So yes, this is giving us a clue about something very useful information. You will see the buttons that are showing where you could see those numbers still in the numbers that is shown on the sticky note. So it is telling us that the password to that is, sorry for the distraction. So when you turn over the flower pot, you will see, so these numbers are the numbers that shows also were on the keypad, suggesting that yes, this could probably be the pin code to that door. So I'm just going to copy it. So right now, if you look at our command again by typing help, you will see that to enter something, to enter any code, we have the enter command. So you can see we type enter and put the code. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to use that command. So enter and then paste whatever I want. So control V and I'm going to hit enter. So when you hit enter, you will be giving you the door opens and you will be given the next instruction. Okay, so basically you have to read whatever is displayed just after you enter a new room. So as you can see here, we are at the hallway. You could also see there is a map. So if there is a map at a place you don't really know or you're not familiar with any environment and you find a map, you should leverage on that to understand every single point on that particular environment where you will have to know where you have to move to. So what I'm going to do right now is, just as we know, if you want to take a critical look at something, we are going to use the examine command. So I'm going to say I want to examine the map. Sorry. There is a title, examine map. Okay, so when you examine the map, you can see right here something has changed. Okay, you can see something has changed over here. So you can see an additional information added to the map over here. So if you didn't read that, it will never be added to it. So here we can see we are at north, this point, and we can see we can move to west, we can move to north, and we can also move to east. So let's read what is at east. So when we read the map, we found the map on the wall. So we've examined that. The map shows the layout of the floor. So there are locations. We note the location of the security office, break room, IT department, and several other areas. The vault appears to be on a lower level. So what we're going to do right now is to say I'm going to head to north. So yes, if you get into an environment where you can easily be caught, you could see that there is a detection risk over here. You could see mine have increased immediately, and you could see an alert saying security awareness has increased detection risk. So in this environment you can easily be detected or seen, and then you can be caught up and be sent to court. Yes, so you have to be very cautious when you are in this environment. So what we are going to do is to say I want to look around and see whatever is in there. So you could see monitors shows face from security. So we really have to read whatever is here to understand whatever is actually going on. And you could see there is a security uniform, a sticky security uniform, and then a security override card. Yes, this could be useful. You can use security uniform to disguise ourselves, just as you know. And then we have a security override card. We can also use that to slot into any door and open it if we find ourselves something. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to type hint. Very important. If you are stuck at any point, you can type hint. Okay, so here you have a couple of commands to run to get into because I want to get into the next level. I'm going to be running any useful command over here to get into the next level to explain to you what you needed to do. So at this point I'm just trying to let you understand the system, how everything is working, and I hope I am making a point and you guys are really understanding what is happening here. So we can try some of these actions. So when you type the hint, you can see it says we can try some of these commands. So you can basically you can copy it. So I've copied. So what I want to see is I want to examine the monitor. So it says the security monitor shows different areas of the bank. You notice a screen showing. So okay, so we've also seen what is in there. We can examine desk. Okay, so on the desk you see a sticky note partially hidden under. So let's examine the sticky notes. You know, sticky notes might contain any useful information or sensitive information. So I've examined sticky. Okay, sorry. Examine sticky note. Please, if you run any command and you have an error, check. Just as this one, you can see there is a typo hiding at the note. I just take note of the error you had. The system is very intelligent. If something is not working, you might not be doing the right thing. So I'm going to add that. So I'm going to add the note and hit enter. So it says the sticky note has something like this. This could probably be something very useful. It looks like a password if you take a closer look at it. Okay, yes, it also says it looks like a password. So we can say we want to use, okay, so here we can see we want to use the computer. Let's try to see, because we had a password. So what we are going to do is try to use a computer, and it says what you sit at the computer. It looks like it's locked and requires a password. So yes, let's try the password we found over here. Okay, so what we're going to do is just copy it. Now I'm going, just as I said previously, if you want to enter anything, any code, you just type enter and then paste whatever you want to add. So it says you enter the password and gain access to the security system. Yes, so here we are at the security system. Okay, so what we needed to do, if you can get any useful information, so let's examine. So right here you could see we are into the system, and when we run the examine monitors, it tells us that there are security cameras around watching around. So what we are going to do right now is to say we want to, yes, to increase our security, because we'll be moving around through the entire block. So if you don't want to be caught up, you can just copy that and then paste it. So what I'm going to do right now is to disable the cameras. So I've disabled it. You could see when you run that, our security awareness has decreased and detection risk has also decreased. So it means that it is very useful if you are into any environment, if you are hacking ethically and you are into any environment and you gain access to any screen. If there should be something to do to reduce your security awareness, you can do it. So we could see that when we look around, we found a couple of things. Okay, I'm going to type look again. So what we're going to do is let's try to pick these things, because we can find it here. So what I'm going to type is to get that thing. So I'm going to paste. So I'm going to pick the security override card. So as you can see right here, the security override card have been added to my inventory here. So the next thing I'm going to do also is that I'm going to take the security uniform So I've copied that, and then I'm going to say get ring. Okay, so I've also taken the security uniform. So what I'm going to do right now is the game is such that if you head to any direction where you are not supposed to, you don't have the necessary inventory to disguise or to be there, the system is going to tell you that game over, which means that you have to start right from the entrance again. Why? Because it could probably be you might take any action that you can be caught up, so it's just like you have been caught up. Yes, so that is that. So let's take note. So yes, I have some useful information over here, tools over here I can actually use to navigate the system. So let's for this is when you are here and you head to start, you might have an error, and even if you are at this point and you don't pick the necessary things or you don't do the necessary thing and you move to any other direction, you will be given a game over display saying the game is over. You need to refresh and start all over again. So right now I'm going to head to east, and here I am at east, and I am into the IT workspace with the desks and computers. I think so. To understand whatever is in here, I'm just going to say look around. So I'm going to type look, and it's telling me there are several workstations with computers and technical manuals on the desk. One desk has a nameplate for for this name, okay, and system administrator. So what I'm going to do right now, you can see we can see an admin badge. Yes, so just like your student badge, we also have an admin badge. So this is what you put on your neck. So I'm going to copy this and say get. So you could see I've taken the admin badge, so and it has been added to my inventory right here. So yes, it says there's a user, two users. You can see systems administrator, and then this guy over here. So what I'm going to do right now is to type hints. Just read my hints. So we can actually examine the desk. So I'm going to just copy that and paste it at my command line and hit enter. So on this user's desk you find a frame of photo, dog, and some notepad. Okay, so we can examine the notepad again, and then on the notepad reminder notes simply says dog plus year with a smiley face. Okay, so this could be telling us something. Yeah, let's go further to see. So what we're going to do right now is to look at the photo. No, we've already done that, we've examined that. So it says there is a computer. Let's try to okay, before then let's look at the photo. So I want to look at the photo again, and then a cute what I think this is a dog and then named Rex. So according to the name and according to the name engraved on the frame, so you could see something over here. It says dog plus year on the yes, right here on the notepad. So we could see something like this. So it means Rex, okay, which is the name of the dog, and then the year. So you could see right here it has given us something here. So I'm just going to copy this. Before then, you can say you want to use. So to use any tool or any equipment you find, you can manually type use, and then I'm going to say computer. and it says this guy's computer requires a password. So what I'm going to do right now is to say I want to enter this, because I want to use a computer and it's asking for a password. So I'm going to enter this password because we've seen that they said dog plus year, and this is very useful. Sorry. So the name of the dogs is Rex, and then we've added the year. So I'm just going to hit enter, and it says now I have access to this guy's email. Wow. So yeah, I have access to somebody's email. So what I'm going to do right now is to read the email. So we read the email, and we say saying reminder server room code is just server spell on the keypad. So we could see something very useful over here. Okay, take note of this. So what we are going to do right now is okay, we've taken the admin badge already, as you can see over there. So I'm just going to try to head to south, because I am currently here and I want to move here to see if I can find any useful information. So I'm going to say I'm moving to south. So the server room door is locked, so I'm going to enter this, because it is suggesting this is the pin code to the server room. So I'm going to say enter this code. So you enter the code on the server room, the lights turns green and the door unlock. So I'm going to head to south now. The door is open, so you could see we've moved to the server room. So in the server room it could probably be detected, so because in the server room there might be security cameras around. Okay, so the risk of you being caught and sent to jail is easy. So yeah, so here our security risk has just rising up. So I'm going to look around. You have to take note, in an environment you need to look around. So says there are rooms with blinking lights and cooling system. The rooms is cold, noisy from the equipment fans. So we can see an executive access manual. So yes, this could give some information. So what I'm going to do is to examine that. I don't understand that. Okay. Sorry, I didn't type examine. Okay, examine. Examine executive access manual. Okay, so let me examine manual. Okay, so yes, seeking for hints is not it doesn't mean you are not intelligent enough. So I always recommend you using the hint to understand, because we are still in our learning process. So I'm going to hit hint. So as you can see, some of these actions, so we can enter. So we've done this, we've examined servers. Yes, so we can actually examine the servers. So I'm going to copy this and paste, and then it looks like various servers and notices on rack. That appears to be the main file storage system. Okay, so we could also look behind the servers. Okay, so behind the main server rack you find a manual labeled executive access protocols that was carelessly left there. Okay, this could be really useful, because executive access manual, executive access protocols, sorry. So what I'm going to do right now is to read that manual. So copy this and paste here. So the manual contains procedures for emergency access to the executive area. It mentioned that the master key is kept in the file room and the insurance document. Okay, so yes, this could be really useful. It says the executive, the procedures, yes, the procedures. So we could actually go in and then get this file, read whatever is in there, and see if we can be able to do something else to get into our goal deposit and finally getting every goal. So what I'm going to do right now is just to do we really have something we can actually pick over here? So let me try to look around again. So we have the executive. So let me try to. So right now I'm going to, as you can see from here, there is also a room to our east. So I'm going to say I'm moving to east. So here I am in the file room where every document is being kept, and here we can also get our the insurance is it insurance? Yes, I think, yeah, insurance document. So what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to look around, and then there are rows of filing cabinets with labeled which different categories for document, one which marked insurance. So I'm going to say let me try to examine the insurance document. Okay, I search through the insurance file and find a hollowed out document folder labeled executive policy. Wow, so in this location we've seen the executive procedures where we say that those procedures are saved in the insurance document. So we've examined it and we've seen that a hollow document for folder labeled executive policies. Okay, so what I'm going to do right now is to type hints to see what I can do. So we've examined the cabinet, we've examined the search insurance, we've examined insurance. So we are going to let's see it okay, not attached reading. So there in the insurance folder we could see the CEO having something here. So this could probably be a pin to the CEO use to enter some specific place. So what I'm going to do is, we can examine the north room, because here we are, the only door we can go in is to north. So I'm going to examine the north room. Just as I said, if you want to take a critical look, okay, so yes, we have to examine the north door to see how it looks like, if it is using a padlock or any other technology. So I've examined, and the door leading to the exit. Okay, so that is the door leading to the executive office. It has both a sticky note. Now it has both a key hole and a keypad. Okay, so what we're going to do right now is we are going to leverage on this we found over here, the CEO. You see there is something that looks like a password. So what I'm going to do right now is to say in fact, when we type hint, not every command here is actually useful. There are some that when you enter you are going to be caught. Yes, so you should take note. I'm going to show you that in the executive room where you needed not to do something, and when you do it you will be caught and there is going to be game over. You will have to start right from the entrance again. Okay, so I'm going to say we can actually in the server room there is something I think we didn't pick that. Okay, but we can go back there and do whatever we want to do. So what I'm going to do right now is to say I want to enter this to okay, so I need a master key to unlock the door. Do I have a master key? Let me look around again. Okay, so we have a master key over here. So what I'm going to do right now is to say get master key. Yes, so you can see the master key have been added over here. So let me say I want to use master key. So I insert the master key into the door lock. You still need to enter a code. So yes, the code we had over here, what we entered first for the CEO. So you can copy it, come back and paste, and here we are in the executive room. Okay, yes, we can also find, maybe look for some sensitive information over here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is to look around. Sorry, I'm just going to look. So a suspicious office with a large desk. Spacious office with a large desk. Okay, and a couple of things we could. Yes, so here I'm simply going to type hints to see, because it is very important for the sake of learning sake. We are learning, so you have to take note. It is really good to have hints to get our knowledge, and then when we are in the actual environment where we are taking our penetration testing, we can actually use them without looking for any hint anymore. So here we are, we have to learn everything we needed to know. So we've done this. So we said there is a painting, so let's try to examine that painting. And the painting shows the bank's founder. You notice it's slightly crooked as it's been moved recently. So yes, that could be there is something that has been done. Yes, so what I'm going to do is to say I want to examine. Let's examine the decks also. On the decks, you notice the founder's biography with 3 dates highlighted in this format. Okay, this could also be useful. Okay, so let's try to move the painting on the wall. Behind the painting is a wall safe, so a wall safe could be containing something inside. Okay, so what I'm going to do is to examine the wall safe again. So I've copied it. Take note of the command is examine safe, a combination of safe with 3 dials. Okay, so what we're going to do right now is to do a couple of things, because you can understand from here when we check the founder's biography, we found something like this. This could probably be useful. It doesn't look like a normal date because no date has 82. Okay, so so this is more than a date, so I'm just going to copy it, and okay, so even from the hint you could see this. I'm actually going to copy this. Okay, so I'm just going to paste. Yes, so we've unlocked the safe, so we can actually see what is inside. Before then, I said earlier on that when you are running any command, that when you type hints and you are giving command, not every command here is useful. So for instance, this use phone, you don't actually need phone for anything in this environment. Okay, you don't really need phone for anything. So what we're going to do, if you try to use the phone, it is going to be game over for you, and you have to start right from the entrance here, the outer wall again. So don't do that, it is a trick. So what we are going to do next is, now we've unlocked the safe, and inside it is an access card. So okay, so automatically that has been done, so you can see the vault access card added over here. So we are done. So what we are going to do right now is to go back, because as you can see from the map, there is nowhere to we can go anymore. So you can come back here, you can either come back to south, move to west, and go to north again, and then go to south. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to head to south. So here I am at south again, as you can see from here. So I'm going to move till I get to this door that I haven't been to. So I'm going to west, and head to north, and head to west again, and head to west again. Okay, so here I am at the access control room. Door is locked and need an access card. So we have an access card, we have a vault access card, sorry. So I'm going to say I want to use the vault access card. Don't understand. Okay, let me type this again. Examine access card. Oh, okay, I'm going to type hints to see what things I can do. Okay. Oh, sorry. So we actually have to head to, let me see, south again. Oh man. Okay, so I'm going to west again. Access control room is locked. So let me use access card again. Okay, so you've swiped the access card, and then the door to the access control room unlock with a beep. Okay, so I'm going to head to south again, sorry, west. Oh, east rather, west rather. Okay, so here we are at the access control room, and there are a couple of things in the access control room you might be detected. So you can see our security awareness has increased, and detection risk has also increased. So what we are going to do is to look around, just as if you get to any environment as an attacker. You should look around to see if you can see something very useful. So for the first time I can see a vault schematic. So what I'm going to do right now, let me try to see if I can get that. Oh, sorry. Okay, so I have gotten that. Let me see if I can. Let's try to examine that. So we can do that. We can take that action. So I'm going to type hint, and it says examine that. So when we got into the access control room, there are a couple of things. Please read that very carefully. Okay, so here we can examine the guard, we can examine this, examine base, use security uniform, the uniform we had over here to these guys ourselves to be one of the security guys. So you can use cleaning surface to be a cleaner. You can talk to the guard, offer a coffee, examine biometric, and then use admin badge, and then also both style. So let me try to examine the desk because I needed to do that before somebody gets in. Okay, so I've copied that and then paste. Then says giving me some information controls appear to detail schematics of the whole security system. The desk also shows a biometric manual. So let me see if okay, so this I'm just trying to examine the biometric manual. Okay, so just as I said, if you are at any point and you needed to do something, you could leverage on any tool you have here. So right now I'm just going to go to the guard. Okay, so but before I go there, I don't have to look suspicious, so I'm going to use my security uniform. So you could see detection risk decreased because right now we look legitimate. Yes, we are not suspicious at all. So you can manually say talk to guard. Okay, so okay, so yeah, so I've disguised myself using the security uniform. I approach the guy to explain. I have been told to. So here we are just going to deceive the guy because we are looking legitimate. So at this point, okay, I think we've had enough. The video has gotten long enough. It's almost an sorry. I didn't intend making this very long. So at this point, all I want to show is to demonstrate how to navigate through every single step. Okay, so you should be able to know how to get any tool, anything you think is useful, and at any point that you think you can use it, you do that. So please, this is what basically the DOM is. I'm sorry, this is actually what the practical tool is all about. You have to take note and do everything. Please forgive me for a lack of construction, and I might not have the necessary words to explain to you certain points, but I think I've done enough and you guys can actually do that. So last time I sent something and somebody was asking what did I do. So what I did was just to modify the HTML content. So right here you can see this is the title. I can click on it, and when I collapse this right here, this here, you can see a text over here. So I've just added what I want. So I'm just going to add anything. So you can add anything, just playing with the system. So you can say ALX, and you will see that ALX will just be added to the top right here. You can see here ALX has been added. So I'm just playing with the HTML content. So that is that. So thank you very much, and I hope you really enjoyed the explanations I've made. Thank you very much.